Hey, what's up, fellas? In this video, I'm going to go through some of my favorite picks for UFC 310. Now, if you are new to this channel, my name's Cody. This is the sports betting education channel. I actually bet on my picks, and I put a lot of thought into them. And this card especially, this weekend especially, with college football and UFC, I am going to deploy $30,000, which is a substantial amount of money for me. Before we get into the picks, I'm going to go over a couple things that will help you in your process and just help you be a more profitable UFC or MMA bettor. I wanted to show you a couple of my wins from earlier in the year because what I was doing in preparation for these picks and for this card on Saturday is I was watching all these pick videos on YouTube. A lot of guys have came out of nowhere to launch YouTube channels. And a lot of these people are not actually betting and they don't have experience betting. It takes years of experience handicapping games and putting your own hard-earned money on the line to learn stuff. Learn different situations, learn different angles, play things out in your mind and anticipate what's going to happen. You can't just be like, oh, well, I've been watching UFC for 5 years, so I'm going to start a pick channel. You can, and people do that. But what I'm saying is you cannot listen to these people and put much weight into what they say until they have experience sweating out a $10,000 parlay. All right. These are some of my wins from UFC 300. You can see very nice plus money parlay here. Shout out to Moicano. Plus 649. We made $7,500. Max Holloway in round 5 parlayed with Pereira. Should have done Pereira by knockout, but Pereira got it for 500 to win 25,000. These are the types of plays that I cook up. And I'm going to cook for free on this YouTube video here in a second. So stay tuned for that and for the picks. I'll show you some of my favorite plays. But this one, too, we got Whaley and Pereira, Kayla Harrison, Yuri, Bo Nickel. $2,000 to win 5,300, 5,000 to win 10,000 there. And then we have this one, Islam and Sean Strickland parlay, 12.5K to win 22.5K. So that's a nice $10,000 win there. So I am throwing down big money. I'm going to throw down huge money this weekend. If you want my picks for free, all you got to do is go to winnable.com/SBE. I do give free picks in these videos. I'm about to do that here on this YouTube video. But I also finalize stuff like right before the fights, maybe live when I'm watching the UFC. I'll cook one up during the pay-per-view and send that out, maybe a live bet during the fight. So if you subscribe to the free plan, you'll get those alerts. Those will be text messages. Just send you a link to the screenshot to my Winnable. And this is on winnable.com/SBE. I'll put a link in the description. I have a red alert play in college football this Saturday. So not UFC, but college football. I'm putting $5,000 on it. I rarely do that. I might do it like once or twice every couple months. It's $200. If it does not hit, you're going to get the rest of the football season for free. So you get all access to all my plays from now to the Super Bowl. Obviously, crazy stuff can happen, but I can hit these red alert plays around 75%. So really high hit rate. Super excited for that. It's just $200, and I'm going to put $5,000 on it personally. So if you got big money and you want to slam one bet, pick that one. If you want to spread your money, diversify across several UFC parlays, $40 is going to get you access to all my parlays. I will be putting at least $1,000 on each of those. So it's not like these other guys on social media that sell you picks and don't even bet on the plays. Real quick, before we get into the card, we're going to look at the card. We're going to scroll through it. It is beautiful right here. I am in Texas. The way that you can bet if you're in Texas legally on fighters to win is this app called Rebet. And the promo code's Lambo. If you use promo code Lambo, get the Rebet app. They're going to match your initial deposit in the form of a free pick, which means if you put in $100, you're going to get your $100, obviously, and then you're going to get a $100 free bet. All right. So the $100 free bet you can use on anything, and it's just a free bet. If it loses, no harm, no foul. So get the Rebet app. It's legal in 45 states. So if you're in a state where sports gambling is not legal, Rebet is a phenomenal solution. It's an app in the App Store. Use promo code Lambo. Get that welcome bonus. Now, before we jump into it, I wanted to say something that I've noticed about UFC is that I feel that the favorites are undervalued. I feel that betting on UFC favorites can be incredibly profitable if you cherry pick them. John Jones, Bo Nickel, Kayla Harrison. I just think it's free money. I think John Jones versus Stipe was some of the best money you'll ever get. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Minus 200 on Jake Paul. I did not slam that one in hindsight. I'm really bummed that I didn't. But there's certain opportunities in MMA to bet on favorites. And what I thought was, I want to see the ROI on if you just solely bet on favorites or solely bet on underdogs. Just to see. I didn't think it would be profitable, and it's not to do that either way. But I wanted to see which was more profitable, right? This column is if you just blindly bet $100 on the favorite of every UFC. This column is if you just blindly bet the underdog right here. So favorites win 66% of the time. Underdogs win 34%. The favorites are minus $203. The underdogs are minus $1,293. Now, what's interesting is if you just look at this last year, really. If you just look at even just, last year, it would be 297 right here, right? So we'd go UFC 297 all the way to Jan versus Figgy. If you look at this, right? UFC 297 was minus 43. This is a minus 50. That 50 offsets. I don't have the exact number, but if you look at the greens and the reds, you can see favorites have definitely been profitable this year. And I think what's happening is in this parlay culture where everybody's having fun, everybody's throwing down, the sportsbooks know that people like to take these long shots. They know that they like the fan favorite underdog over the guy that's probably going to win the fight. They like to build these long shot parlays, and they're giving us good value. Nobody can argue that John Jones minus 600 wasn't the greatest bet of all time. And yes, minus 600, it's not that fun, right? I have enough money to where I can make good money off of those bets. Most people only have a couple $100, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 in their account. It's not fun to lay minus 600. But the facts are, if John Jones and Stipe fought 100 times, John Jones would win over 90 of the times. He'd probably win 100 times, but say he wins 90. Even at a 90% hit rate, minus 600 is incredibly profitable. You see what I'm saying? So what I look at when I'm looking at the money lines in this is if they fought 100 times, how many times is this fighter winning? And then I go from there. So if I were to look at Anthony Smith and Dominic Reyes, how many times is Dominic Reyes going to beat Anthony Smith out of 100? I would probably say somewhere around 80 times. I think Anthony Smith can win 1 out of 5 times against Reyes. Okay, 1 out of 5. So would I do plus 275? Hell no. If I have a 20% chance, it's not profitable. But let's say I have an 80% chance with Reyes. So if I bet Reyes 5 times, 4 times I'll win, 1 time I'll lose. Well, minus 345, that is profitable for me. And it's not fun. Most people will teach you never lay over minus 150 juice. It's a good rule of thumb for a rookie, but if you know what you're doing, incredibly profitable. I love Reyes over Anthony Smith. I think there's a huge skill gap there. Reyes has way more power. His striking is too good. Anthony Smith is not going to be able to take him down. Reyes is going to stand and throw kicks, throw punches at Anthony Smith. He's too fast and too strong. I think he'll either knock Anthony Smith out or just beat his ass for 15 minutes. So I'm not going to pick his method of victory. Maybe I might sprinkle on the knockout, but I just like it as a parlay piece right here. Minus 345 for Dominic Reyes. I'm going to pair that up with Cyril Gahn on the money line. Cyril Gahn has fought Alexander Volkov, and he won 5 out of 5 rounds. Now, a 3-round fight is going to be different because Volkov may push the pace and he may make adjustments and he might say, hey, we're going to try to make this ugly, which is what he should do. Both of these guys, do like to stand at a distance and pick their spots. Volkov is a giant. He's like 6'7". So usually he has a huge reach advantage, and he does here. But Cyril Gahn is so quick, so fast, so athletic, he can get in and out before Volkov is able to get his hands on him. So they fought 5 rounds. Cyril Gahn won all 5. One judge gave Volkov round 2, and then the other 2 judges gave Cyril Gahn all 5 rounds. So on the judges' scorecards, he won 14 of 15 possible points. I think he's going to win all 3 rounds again. If not, I think he'll win 2 out of 3. I don't think either of these guys are going to finish each other. Cyril Gahn's going to be motivated to kind of keep building momentum after that John Jones lost. Most people, the casual fan, has only seen Cyril Gahn against John Jones. If you only saw that fight, you'd be like, what's the freaking hype with Cyril Gahn? Cyril Gahn is still probably the 3rd best heavyweight in the division. You got John Jones and Aspinall. I would say Aspinall is number 1, John Jones number 2. And then a gap, and then Cyril Gahn, and then another gap before the 4th guy. So to me, Cyril Gahn minus 375 is amazing. This one at minus 160, pretty solid here. 3,200 to win 2,000. That's how we're going to start it off. That is your first official free pick. All right, let's clear these out. The next bet I want to go to is in that Cyril Gahn-Volkov fight. I kind of just told you how I think it's going to play out. I'm very confident that there's not going to be a finish. I'm very confident that this is going to go to decision. And I'm very confident Cyril Gahn's going to win. So let's see if I can get Gahn by decision. I obviously can, but let's see if I can find that. All right, let's go winning method right here. Beautiful, there it is. Cyril Gahn to win by decision, minus 150. I've seen it at minus 140 places, but this one, 3,000 to win 2,000, money, dude. That's your second official free pick right there. Cyril Gahn to win by decision. Also, feel free to build crazy parlays with these picks. You can definitely use this as a parlay piece. I'm just kind of going through it right now to, I guess, be more cautious. Let's go back to the UFC main page here. My favorite underdog on the card. Well, I have 2 favorite underdogs, I should say, okay? First up, I'm going to do this one because it's probably quicker. Cody Durden over Josh Fan. Josh Fan is a young prospect, up-and-comer, fan favorite, super exciting fighter, gets a lot of finishes. Cody Durden is a grizzled vet, fights out of one of the top gyms in the MMA. He trains with the best. He's fought a ton of different styles of fights. He's been in a lot of different situations in the octagon. I think the wrong fighter's favored here. I like Cody Durden as an underdog. This is a really good parlay actually right here. So 1,000 to win 3,800. That's a really solid money play right there. That's a good parlay. Now my favorite long shot on the card, if I can stop clicking here, is going to be Ian Gary. This is a fight. I just told y'all how I like to pick the favorites. This is a fight where I feel Ian Gary can win 40 out of 100 times. Some people that are newer to sports betting would be like, why would you ever bet on somebody that you don't think is going to win? Well, because I think he has a 40% chance of winning and he has a plus 280 payout. So if I win 40 out of 100 times at plus 280, even though I'd be losing 60% of the time, I would profit. Okay, it's just math. If you give me Ian Gary at plus 120, I'm not going to take it. Ian Gary at plus 250 or better, I like that. Okay, Shavkat Rakhmonov got pieced up against Jeff Neal. And my theory is if Jeff Neal is punching you in the face like that and rocking you, I think there's a good chance Ian Gary could just kick this dude's ass via kicks and punches to the face. This is the first time Rakhmonov is fighting a guy that's taller than him. For the first time, he's going to fight a striker that has longer arms and is a couple inches taller than him. Now, he's going to need to take Ian Gary down. Okay, well, his takedown percentage against Wonderboy was 20%. Wonder Boy to me, well, not to me, but Wonder Boy is a much smaller man than Ian Gary, okay? Ian Gary is a big-ass dude for a welterweight. He's a big-ass dude, period. I just think that Shavkat is going to have a hard time taking Ian Gary down, and I like Ian Gary's chances standing. So at plus 280, now you look at this. 3 picks right here. It's starting to look really nice. Let's take Cody Durden out just because, we're getting kind of crazy with 2 underdogs and 1 parlay. But that is a nice 13x right there. And let's do Dominic Reyes right here. So Dominic Reyes, this is my type of play right here. This is pretty sweet. $1,000 to win 8,000 on this play. That's the type of stuff I love right there. And let's see if Reyes wins by knockout. Reyes is just dangerous, man. His striking is very dangerous. Reyes by knockout is minus 125. Hopefully it'll load so we can see what the payout would be. I'm going to refresh it real quick. Yeah, so I would say this one right here I like too. These are long shots. Be cautious with them. Don't go all in on these. But maybe you put $10 to win 100 on this play. Maybe I do 1,000 to win 11,000 on a play like this. Okay, so I like that too. I like Reyes by knockout. I personally will probably be attacking Reyes minus the 345 more aggressively than by the knockout, just because I do think it could go to this decision. Anthony Smith has shown that he is willing to lay up against the cage and just roll up so that he doesn't take damage. He likes to fight every couple months. Even if he loses a boring fight, he doesn't care. So I like Reyes on the money line there more. These 3, very solid. And then let's go through and see if I can add anything else to it. But this is kind of where my head's at. This is what I like the most. Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain, not a fan favorite, but probably a more well-known name to casual sports bettors. Aljo went up in weight class, which I actually don't mind. I think it's an easier weight cut for him, which means he'll have better cardio throughout the fight. It's only a 15-minute fight. But against a Russian wrestler, Aljo's like the top American wrestler in this weight division, right? 135 to 145. Aljo, we saw it against Cejudo. Cejudo didn't do shit to Aljo, right? Their wrestling canceled each other out, and they both stood up, and Aljo barely squeaked out the victory, but he did over Cejudo. And then Merab goes in there and dominates Cejudo. So kind of shows you that Aljo's probably not as good as Merab. They never fought because they were friends, but he's probably not. So he goes up a weight division. I like him in this division. This is a tough one, but this is one of those fights where I just genuinely think Aljo probably has around a 20% chance of winning this, if we're just being honest. So I'm going to take Movsar minus the 250. I think that's a great deal there. I would probably rather do minus 250 here and Reyes money line. So Evloev money line and Reyes money line over Reyes by KO. Pays it the same, 10x about, or 11x. So I like these 4 right here. And then I'll scroll through. I like Brian Battle here, but probably not as a minus 200 favorite. I'd rather take, Movsar as a minus 250 favorite than Battle there. Let's keep going. Max Griffin versus Chiesa. That's a 50-50 one for me. Eric Anders versus Weidman. I like Eric Anders there as a small underdog, but not something I'm rushing to slam. Kennedy and Nzechukwu right here. He's a tough guy to lay this with. He's lost at this number before. He moved up from 205 to heavyweight, so basically fighting at his natural weight, doesn't have to cut weight. I don't think it's worth the minus 550 there. But honestly, guys, I'm not rushing to lay that. But if you look at football, if you look at NFL favorites that are minus 550, like say the Chiefs, if the Chiefs play the Raiders 100 times, the Raiders could steal a couple games from them. If Kennedy fights this other dude. So I view Kennedy as a bum, and then I view this other dude as a bigger bum. I think that he'll win more times than the Chiefs would beat the Raiders. In the NFL, you see shitty teams get upsets. In UFC, it's very hard to be a plus 400 favorite and pull off the upset. So I wouldn't be too afraid of that, but I'm personally kind of staying away. Let's just click through everything that I've given out so far and see how much we can juice this up. Bryce Mitchell. We'll do Bryce Mitchell too. Minus 850. Let's see what that does for the parlay. It goes from 23 to 28. Fuck it, we'll throw him in. And then I have Cyril gone by decision already. Damn. And Pantoja. That's a tough one, bro. Let's throw Pantoja in there, though. My pick would be Pantoja, but that's a tough one because I just have never seen this Kai dude fight, and he's like the most famous dude in Asia MMA. So it's tough, but like his first 5-round fight in the UFC at a weight division that's lighter than his own, that's tough for me. So let's do 300 on this to win 12,000 or 3,000 to win 123. Shit, boys. This is a huge parlay. I just put all my favorite picks in one parlay. But I might actually... Oh, God. I might actually send this one. The biggest risk on this is Ian Gary, okay? I'm looking at it now. I honestly think this has a really good shot at hitting, okay? 7-leg parlay right here. But if I take Ian Gary off, what does it go down to? About 9x. This is the safer one. So maybe you do 2,000 on this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. So I'm going to wrap this video up here in a second, boys. But 2,000 on this to win 2,100. I'm going to take a picture of this because I'm going to go to, I live in Texas. I'm going to go to Louisiana. And I'm going to lock this in. So this is an official parlay. Free pick parlay. And then this one, I'm going to add Ian Gary to it. God dang. I might do like 500 on this one. Just because it's 500 to win 20 grand is so good. Obviously, like, in my body and my soul, I want to throw like 5 grand on this one. Right? I want to just say, hey, 5 grand, call it a day, make a yearly salary. But I've got to manage my bankroll. I can't be reckless. There's good stuff in other sports. And if the card goes to shit and I have a bad day, I want to have more ammo for next week. Colby Covington versus Buckley. So I'll do 500 on that one, and then I'll do 2,000 on the other one. You know what, guys? Subscribe to the Winnable. Subscribe to the free Winnable. I'll send these out whatever I lock in. I might make some slight tweaks to it, but just go to winnable.com/SBE. You can see it right here. It's winnable.com/SBE. I'm going to lock these in tonight. I will send them out so you can get the official parlays, okay? That's all I've got for y'all. I love you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. I post free picks every single day. I love UFC cards, UFC 310. I'm so pumped for it. It's going to be a huge weekend. And good luck with all your plays. I'll see you guys in the next video.